So for the past 2 months, I've been traveling across the United States, living in my camper van. And even though I've been living in my camper van, I've still been taking advantage of the complimentary breakfast at hotels. It is very easy just to walk into a hotel. It's impossible for them to keep track of everyone that's staying there. And they have no system in place for ensuring that you are actually a resident at the hotel in order to take advantage of the complimentary breakfast. So I started just doing this as a means of saving money, but in order to extend that benefit, I've also begun to take various breakfast items and utilize them for the rest of my meals. Like any self-respecting gourmand or purveyor of ingredients, I chose the Hampton Inn as my breakfast location today, knowing that they offer the highest quality of products.
I've never seen this nice of a complimentary breakfast. Yes, usually it's dry cereal
and maybe like
fruit,
bagels, that sort of thing.
That kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's
I think
more pastries.
Like once you get into Hampton Inn is really good breakfast. Best Western has great breakfast.
Okay.
Quality Inn is sometimes on the level of them, but it's a lot more varied.
Okay.
This is one of those things when I'm traveling across the country, it's so interesting to see the diversity of the complimentary breakfast. So following this road trip, Kentucky will be the only state within the continuous U.S. that I haven't visited. So I must admit, I don't really know all that much about Kentucky. I had an elementary school teacher who was from Kentucky. He had quite an interesting accent and outlook on the world. I had a crush on a girl from Kentucky, or who was born in Kentucky. I know the Kentucky Derby is there. I know Kentucky produces bourbon. And I think the most kind of famous thing about Kentucky is KFC, Kentucky-Fried Chicken, which I've never had. I had when my father and I were traveling through Kanab, which is Kanab, Utah, the what is it? The best earth on show. And so in a supermarket they had kind of like a Kentucky Fried Chicken ripoff. And so in some ways that was KFC being Kanab Fried Chicken. There is a certain transformative quality to the notion of Kentucky Fried Chicken, the branding of Kentucky Fried Chicken. The name alone suggests that simply because it is prepared in a certain style, it is in some ways from Kentucky. Even if you're wherever in the world and you're consuming Kentucky Fried Chicken, it was fried in Kentucky. This has inspired me within my current situation within North Carolina, aware that I will not reach Kentucky, to sort of create my own facsimile of Kentucky. So today I'm going to be making Kentucky Fried Chicken, utilizing the Waffle-batter from the Hampton Inn. This comes out of a dispenser and people make a waffle. It's kind of the quintessential complimentary breakfast item. So I'm just going to pour some of this waffle batter in here and use it to coat my chicken. That's all in. And the second one. So in many ways, I'm not so much Kentucky-frying this chicken as Kentucky-fying this chicken. I'm transforming its essence to be that of Kentucky, and therefore transporting myself to a state I have never visited. While we're waiting for that chicken to Kentucky fry, I'm going to make myself a mint julep using more ingredients I've seen in some hotels, with the exception of Kentucky Gentleman Kentucky Bourbon Whiskey. Of course, I didn't obtain this from a hotel because I have never visited Kentucky. And I'm just going to add this mint medley tea, which I'm going to use in substitution for fresh mint. And I'm going to have a similar muddling process that you might do when making a mint julep. That will bring out the fresher flavors, but also won't give the time for the tea to make the drink bitter. I got this from the 4 Points by Sheridan. I wanted the ice to maintain its form, and subsequently I wanted to get it as close to when I was making the drink as possible. And additionally, 4 Points by Sheridan does not offer a complimentary breakfast, so they need to donate somehow as well. And then finally, because I believe it's tradition to drink a mint julep out of a silver mug, I will wrap that around my drinking vessel to give that sense. And I will be pairing that fried chicken with a potato salad. So I've obtained these roasted potatoes, and I'll be combining that with a bit of mayonnaise and mustard, because I believe that that is often a typical companion to Kentucky Fried Chicken. So in the end, what is the experience of a state? What is the experience of a dish? Do you have to actually visit a state? Or can you create the circumstances, the cultural relevance that allow you to spiritually be transported to that state? In some ways, can you galvanize your current situation with the culture of another, and subsequently be contained in that culture? So today, as I walked away from the Hampton Inn with my fist in the air, just hoping that they forget about me, I feel as though I fulfilled the KFC experience by taking all of my key ingredients in buckets, just like they do at Kentucky Fried Chicken. And ultimately, part of the quintessential experience of Kentucky Fried Chicken is its nature as a takeout food, which I think is quite fitting within this scenario. I'm taking the components from the hotel, but secondly, it deals with that idea of transportation, of teleportation, of reaching a different realm that is built into the nature of how you enjoy the meal. So it is a celebration, even though I know I won't be reaching Kentucky on this trip, to be transported through a culinary experience and a reimagining of what waffle-batter can constitute, what the complimentary breakfast can constitute, what is placed in front of you can constitute. And one thing I can say is that I enjoy Kentucky Fried Chicken.